Okay, post run stretch, start. Seated on your feet. So have your shins underneath you. And then you're going to tuck your toes. Make sure to even your pinky toe is wrapped nice underneath you. And just sit your weight back. If you notice that your ribs are jutting out, start to knit them in. Inhale your arms out and up. Gaze up. Interlace your fingers, bend your elbows, and place your palms up toward the ceiling. Again, notice if you've got a deep arc in your back and start to knit it in. Press up through your hands, draw your shoulders away from your ears and breathe. Keep sending the weight back into your toes that are tucked back. And then bend your elbows, unwind, unclasp, exhale, take it all the way back down. Come up from underneath your toes, maybe give a little bit of a slap from side to side. And we're taking Anahatasana. So you're gonna start in this tabletop position. So your hips are over your knees. And then rather than scooching your hips back, you're gonna walk your arms toward the corners of your yoga mat, fingertips spread wide. Inner elbows pointed up. Engage your belly, start to drop your chest down. It's okay if you don't go down all the way, send your gaze straight out. Keep lifting up to the insides of your elbows, press down through your hands, breathe. And then on an exhale, engaging the core, start to lift your way up. Walk your hands safely back underneath you. Tuck your toes, send your hips back towards your heels. Might feel familiar. And then send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. So give yourself a little bit of a wiggle here. Bend from side to side, walk your dog. And then you're going to take your space between your big toe and your second toe of your left foot and place around the Achilles of your right heel. And just let the weight of your leg drag the heel down toward the mat. Doesn't have to come down all the way. Your right hip draws back. You might feel this in your outer hips. All right, bend to that knee. Place the foot next to the other in down dog and then other side. So between the big toe and the second toe, round your Achilles, drop that left heel down toward the mat. Left hip draws back. Just breathe. And then bend left knee, place a foot next to the other, wiggle out just a little bit once again. On an inhale, lift your right leg toward the ceiling. And then we're gonna make some really big circles with a bent knee. So start to bring your knee down towards your armpit and then all the way around up toward the ceiling. Reach all the way around. Take it up and then take in the opposite direction. So you're bringing it down towards your belly, towards your armpit, wide arc. Again, like that, try to keep your left heel pointed straight back. Then place your foot next to the other. Wiggle it out a little bit, shift the weight. Left leg comes up and back, and then bend your knee, and then take those super wide circles. So it's coming out and around, out and around, as exaggerated as you can make it. And then take it the other direction. So starting towards your belly, then your armpit, and then moving around. And then once more. Come back to down dog, bend it out just a little bit. Inhale, right leg towards the ceiling again. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest, and place your foot between your hands towards your right thigh. Place a weight into the left palm, feel your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. You're in a low lunge twist, and then spin all of your toes away from you. So you come onto the razor edge of your left foot, lift your hips high. Keep both feet flexed, lift up through your fingertips. And then on an exhale, cycle all your toes back to the front, take your hand down toward the mat. We're gonna take a modified pyramid pose. So your left heel is gonna stay lifted. Start to send your right hip back, so your right leg starts to straighten, rebend it. Straighten again, rebend, straighten it again. Keep your right hip pulling back and then lift your right toes towards your face. Reach your chin towards your shin. All right, release the foot back down, bend into the right knee again. Step your right foot back, press up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, big exhale. And then left leg up and back. Exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. More weight to right palm, left fingertips come up, low lunge twist. Let's take it further, IT band stretch. Turn all your toes away from you. Flex through both feet, lift up through your hips. You're on the razor edge of your right foot. Yes, and on an exhale, take your hand back down. All toes are facing the same direction. Start to straighten the left leg, your left hip pulls back, modified pyramid, your right heel is lifted. Rebend, lift up, start to straighten the leg. Find a little bit of momentum, a little bit of movement. Don't need to be static here. All right, and then bend to the front knee. And then step the left foot back, come up and back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Take your knees to your mat. Keep your knees a little bit wide. Toes to touch, send your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. Reach your arms out way far in front of you. Come up onto your finger pads, just like in that Anahatasana, wrapping your inner elbows upward. Claw at the mat with your finger pads. And on an exhale, soften, release, let your elbows come down. Then on an inhale, lift up about halfway. You're gonna walk your torso and your arms over to the right. So your belly might be on your right thigh. Your left arm is super long. Come up onto finger pads and then energetically pull your left hip towards your left heel. Let your head be heavy. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, wander towards center and then cycle it all the way to the other side. This time, right arm is out really far. Onto finger pads, drop your chest over your left thigh. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, take it back to center, child's pose, 2 breaths. Then press your way up to seated. And then you're simply going to swing your legs out in front of you. We're going to do a little bit of a cradling your leg here. So my left leg is out in front of me. Just going to let it be loose. If you need to be straight outside, straight in front rather. And I kind of like having a little bend to my knee. It feels really stable for me. If it doesn't work for you, straight leg. I'm going to pick up my right shin. I'm going to place my foot either to inside my forearm or all the way up to the crook of my elbow, flexing this foot. My right arm comes around my knee. And I'm just going to rock a little bit from side to side. Just allow yourself to relax. And again, the left leg, the one that's extended, it's just there for balance. Okay, then take that foot that is lifted. You're going to slide it down, the hand that is touching it. So for me, I've got my left hand to my right foot. Just going to secure it. My right hand behind me for balance. I'm going to lean back and angle over to the side. I'm going to find the spot where I basically can massage myself and I get to a sweet spot. You'll know when you get it. And just hang out there for a few moments. Just rock it around, give yourself a deep tissue massage. If you're like, I can't find it, try leaning back in a different position. Maybe start to straighten your leg or bend it back. And then come right back up. Set your foot down, hands behind you, knees bent. Drop both knees over to the right. And then take them to the other side, drop them to the left. Take it back up to center, we're gonna do the other side. So again, right leg is gonna be out this time. Take your left shin up. The foot is flexed into maybe the crook of your elbow, if not, down towards your wrist. Left arm around. Release your fingertips if that feels good, or you can just have your hand to your thigh. Rock a little from side to side. Let yourself know everything's okay. Rock your baby. And then you're gonna slide that foot down the arm that it's touching, left hand behind you. For some support, lean back, maybe lean over to the left. Just kind of rock around and then find the spot, found it. A little bit of sweet spot, give yourself a little bit of massage, just kind of rock there. And then if you can't find it, just move a little bit around. You'll find it eventually. All right, and then press your way back up to seating. Hands behind you, fingertips away, knees are bent, drop both knees over to the left. Drop both knees over to the right. Take your knees square up and then start to walk yourself in. I'm going to take a Baddha Konasana pose, bound angle. Start to walk the soles of your feet together, let your knees drop out wide. Depending on how you're feeling, maybe you're like, this is good. If you'd like to go a little bit further, fingertips behind you, lift your hips up, and then scooch them in closer to your heels. Take your hands down to your feet, shrug your shoulders back, deep breath in. Draw your knees down and back away from you, and on your exhale, start to tilt forward. You're gonna keep a straight back for this variation. Elbows might press in towards your shins. Simply breathe. And don't forget about the activity of your legs. Your knees are looking down and back. This will help with the tilt. All right, inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Take your hands behind you. If you took that closer diamond shape, press into your fingers in that. Switch up. Switch your hips back. Right knee is going to be bent in front of you, and you're going to place your left foot to the outside of your right knee. If your left hip does not come down completely, then you can extend your right leg out in front of you, and that might feel more secure. Left hand behind you, fingertips away. For me, this is about, looks like about 8 to 10 inches. Inhale, right arm lifts up. Twist at your belly, twist at your chest, elbow to the outside of your thigh. If that's not working, wrap your hand around. Active fingertips. Make sure that you're sharing the weight equally between your two hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Send your gaze back to the front. Unravel, take a counter twist over to the right. All right, lift right back up, and you're gonna switch out the cross of your legs. So this time, left knee is down, right foot comes to the outside. And again, if this doesn't feel comfortable on your right hip, extend your leg out. Right fingertips behind you, palm down, fingertips away. Inhale, left arm is up. Twist at your belly, twist at your chest, elbow to the outside of your thigh, active fingertips, or wrap your arm around your shin. Breathe. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Send your gaze back to the front on an exhale. Unravel, counter twist over to the other side. Reach your right arm up very far, drop your head. And then lift your way back up. Come to a Sukhasana pose, one ankle in front of the other. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up. Palms press above you. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought. To your lips for clarity of speech, and then down to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart. Symbol of honor and gratitude for this body, for this practice. Thank you so much. Namaste.